Hello, everybody, to our latest Nitro Cup race. We were at Charlotte Motor Speedway for the 600, the longest race of our season. 200 laps, and we had three stages instead of four to change it up a little bit from previous seasons. And stages were 50, 50, 100. Uh, I knew this was going to be a long one, so I was going to try to take it easy at the start. And I qualified 8th, which is like my best starting spot this season. Been pretty bad at qualifying so far. It's something I need to get better at. But I felt pretty good coming into this. I ran here well last season, so I was expecting good stuff. And I was a little worried starting on the outside here, but here we are to take the green flag. And then at the very start here, the 24 fails apparently had a screen freeze or something. And that destroyed the inside. And luckily I was able to get to the inside lane here, going down the back. Draft settings were low. So in theory it should have kept everyone a little more spread out. But at the start here, it was pretty chaotic, and Bacon goes for a move, and I pinch him a bit and get hit up a little bit. No harm, no foul. And then I'm a little worried here because I see a line of cars, and I'm like, oh man, I'm going to lose so many spots. But we enter one, and Durham's not able to drive it in as good. So I get the slip in here. But I tap Andrew in the back here, and Durham gets a nice run on the outside here. But going into 3, I was like, I'm going to get him. And I do. So now we're in a single file line. Now we're going to jump a little further into the race. Jumping to coming to lap 7 is here. Matt Chaffee gets shuffled here. So I jump to the inside. And making a pass can take a lap or so, just because it's kind of hard to, with how narrow the track is, to keep it on the bottom. And entering 3, Matt gets a little tight in the center here, so I get a nice run through the middle. And then we end up clearing him down the front here. And our march to the front starts, I guess you could say. Now we jump to lap 15. Outbreak was able to pass me at some point. I forget exactly when. But here Bacon goes for a move, moves Andrew up the track. And then Outbreak capitalizes because Bacon washes up as well. And I'm able to follow Outbreak down the front and get on the inside of both of these guys. And then at this point, my car is feeling fine. No pissed offs yet. I had a setup in mind to put in, and then we'll see where we stood after that. And entering turn 3 here, get on the inside of Andrew. He can't get in a hole, and we're gonna clear him down the front or something. I forget exactly. It was a long race, so it's hard to remember exactly everything. But going into 1 and 2, I'm pretty sure I clear him here. And yeah, I guess I netcoded him a little bit there. Never touched him. Pretty much started the race with me and him. And jumping to lap 20, come to 21, the caution was called, so we were racing it back to the line. I believe Bryce had a lag or some sort, and all chaos broke loose. So just after the first 20 laps, we were P4, feeling pretty good at this point. Moved up the 4th from 8th, so I was like, I'm feeling pretty good. But it seemed at this point Jonathan and Mahu were the class of the field. And we're jumping to the restart. I came out like 4th, but everyone took the inside, so I was like, I'll start 2nd. And I was hoping their hole would open. But at this point I was like, oh no one was caught sleeping. And the inside line was forming pretty quick, so I was like, this isn't good. So by the exit of 2, I was already gonna be 4th pretty much, and I was like, maybe can get down, and no, thought against it. And Jonathan was able to get nice to the inside. And I was just hoping a hole would open at this point, but I wasn't too optimistic at this point. And I was like, oh, it's so close to open here. But Andrew was able to close the hole. I was getting a run, but didn't really want to cut him off at this point, as it's only lap 25. And then he slides up, and then this weird heat physics, he just gets stuck to me. And then basically get freight trained, and I'll fall to 9th, I think. And we'll finally get in at 9th place. And now we're going to make a big jump to 35, because as soon as that jump, we had like a streak of like 3 back-to-back cautions, so we're just going to jump up to here. I've fallen down to 12th because I've been pitting on every single one, and some people were staying out, so I learned my lesson from earlier, where just start on the inside generally, because the outside is garbage. So 3 wide in front of us, and I'm like, I back out real early because I'm like, something big's gonna happen, just because how narrow the track is. But nothing really happens. Get on the inside of Libert, pass him, and I'm trying to be very patient right here because it's just a big wad and there's nowhere really to go. No point of rushing. Jay slides up. I give him a little bump, and he slides up even more, and I'm able to go. And then Cobra gets contacted, and he loses control, and I get involved in a wreck, and this causes a caution. And yeah, that was unfortunate. And now we're jumping up to the restart after the crash. And I was a little worried at this point because of how far we were back, but we'll see what happens. Pick the outside because there's so many people on the inside, so maybe get a hole and we can slip in and gain a few spots. And one didn't happen again. So we're just going through 1 and 2. We do have the freshest tires, so if this goes green, we might be okay. At least that's what I thought. And get a nice run down the back. Look on the inside of LCS here, but he's able to cover it off. And then we go into turn 3, and there's a huge stack up of cars, and we're all coming and clustering up. And I'm like, oh, there's going to be a wreck, and Cobra goes on my inside, and I back off because I'm like, wreck's going to happen. And I'm able to cut off Jay here. And going down the back here. Get a little contact in front of us. But I'm not really sure what was going to happen. So they're still riding, but the 96 gets tight. And a lot of people check up, and then I get a nice run down the front. I'm passing like 3 cars, get on up to 10th right now. And 96 is on our outside. And these cars on the outside are in trouble just because the outside just sucks so much. And now we're 3 wide off turn 2, and I was a little nervous going down the back. Especially entering this slow into turn 3. It's such an awkward angle with how the track's shaped. And hit the apron, and Jay's not able to move me, thankfully. And the 96 is still on my outside, and I really want to clear him. And he was fighting pretty hard all the race. But entering turn 1, I'm able to clear him. And now we're going to move a little further into this run here. And now we're going to jump to 46. And as you see, I passed a few other guys like LCS, and I am flying right now. I'm so fast, I don't really understand. Then I remembered most of these guys have like 3 to 4 lap old tires. So I have the freshest tires, and they're 3 wide in front of me. And I'm able to get under the combat and outbreak and get the run through the turn and clear both of them. And I like all of a sudden, I'm like, man, I can win this stage. I could go from like 12th to 1st in 10 laps. And going through 3 and 4 here, just stick it to the bottom, hoping for a run down the straightaway here. And we're coming to 3 to go in the stage, and I'm like thinking, what do I have to do right now? And I'm able to enter the turn so much better and just stick it. And Andrew gets a little wobbly off the turn. I go inside of Cobra, but I do think better of it. So I let off and try to get a run off 4. And Andrew's stuck on the inside, so I'm able to get under him as well and get a nice run down the front stretch. And now we're going to 2 to go. And at this point, there are no cautions in the stage, and you can't pit. So everyone's committed to the end of the stage, wrecking or not wrecking. And Jonathan's at this point leading the stage. He's been fast all night. I go 3 wide on Cobra and Mahu. And Jonathan comes and blocks me hard. And not much I could do there. I hit the apron, but I'm able to stick it on the bottom. And I get Mahu, so I'm like, I need to think of a move to pass Jonathan. So I was thinking here, 1 and 2, you can't really do much just because you just can drive it in so hard and stick it. But, so I like 3 and 4, I have to do something a little weird. And my plan was to let off really, really early and have him drive it in too hard. And I get off a little early, but he basically just parks it. So I can't actually do anything. So Jonathan is going to come around and win stage 1, and I'm going to get second. Jonathan really needed these points because he's been struggling a little bit with some unfortunate luck. And I need some stage points too because I've been struggling on getting them too. And now we're going to jump to the start of stage 2. And I had a bad stop. I came in second, came out like 4th, so I went to the outside and hopefully someone was going to sleep. But I should learn my lesson at some point because no one was sleeping tonight. And yeah, but this time I got a little more lucky because something happened to Andrew here where you can see he's not covering that hole as good. And I got a nice run down the back and I can do a little contact. But I got a nice run down the back and then I'm able to slip in here. But I'm able to slip down into the bottom here because Andrew doesn't get the best run into turn 3. And we jump about a lap or 2 later and I'm able to get under Jonathan and Cobra here. And I'm actually going to be able to take the lead going to 3 and 4. And this was a weird situation in the race where you almost didn't want to be leading because you're just kind of a sitting duck with the draft. So like at this point I lead like 2 or 3 laps and then someone else takes the lead, then someone else takes the lead. And it happens over and over. So I just eventually just say, screw it, I'm just going to sit and ride. As you can see, Andrew passing me a few laps after I'd taken the lead. And I will fall in, but a little later in this run, I fall down to like 4th and 5th and just sit out behind the lead pack and just minding my own business and just clicking off laps because this race is so long, man. This race almost took like 2 hours or over 2 hours, and we didn't have that many cautions. And here we are jumping like 20 laps further in the race, and me and Jonathan are entering pit road. We tried to play the long game and try to get the overcut. And here we come out, rolling out of pits. So we tried to play the overcut game, and we're gonna see how it works in the end. But we were like 3rd or 4th entering pits, and now we're 6th and 7th because some people pitted like 10 laps early. It was crazy how early they pitted. So now we're jumping up a couple laps. I actually got past Jonathan, and then here I'm getting past Lever because he really short pitted. And a couple laps later, we were able to catch the 96, blow by him because he short pitted as well. And then a couple laps later, Jonathan starts picking up his speed, and I kind of just let him go because he's so much faster. And at this point, me and Jonathan were like, why isn't this not working? Usually overcuts are really strong in NASCAR heat, but it just wasn't working tonight. It was really weird because typically newer tires just blow by everyone. And also at this point, we learned how fast Mahu was tonight, and he was on rails. He was really, really fast. And here we come to the end of stage 2, getting 5th place and getting a stage point. So that was nice to get stage points in both stages. Really needed that for the points, even though we already have a win at Daytona. And here we are at the beginning of stage 3. A lot of people took the inside as well as me. And I was so sick of the outside, man. It sucks for me so much. And here we go into turn 1 on the restart. And everyone, as soon as the hole opens, no matter how small it is, people are going to take it at this point because it's just so hard to make the outside work. And as we go into I cut off Bacon a little bit just to make sure he doesn't make a move. And the 96 sends it really sends it in there and sends it 3 wide. And I take advantage by taking Andrew and Outbreak here. And all of a sudden we're in 4th place. I was like, wow, this is a really good start. And now we're jumping literally 25 laps later because literally nothing happens. I pass the 96 at one point, and Andrew passes me, and then we all spread out. And I'm coming in here to pit, and I speed. And I was like, oh no. And you can see here, we have ended up now in 14th place, all alone, and no one in sight. So I'm just like, just run as hard as you can and hope for a caution. And maybe we can just run some people down because I know we're fast. And we're just jumping like another 30 laps because nothing happened. But my pace was really good. So I was like, man, at this point, I was like, man, I could probably still get like 8th or 7th out of this if I can keep my pace up. And pit stops are happening again already, so I'm coming in this time. And I'm just like, all right, we're going to back it down a lot earlier this time to make sure we don't speed. And we did not speed. So that was nice. And I made some adjustments here because, like, at this point, Mahu is so fast. We were all, like, everyone at the Toyota party was just like, he's so fast, I don't get it. We don't get it. He just sticks on the white line and he just drives away. And we were so confused. So we were just trying to change some things up at this point. And this is a few laps after we pit. The 88 of Libert was trying to stretch it out. Maybe, I'm not really sure what he was doing, but when he was out of gas, he somehow lost control of his car and it spun in front of the field. And the caution's going to come out. And I'm like, oh, we're back in this race, baby. It was a really weird situation for Libert. It was really weird from his view. It's just like the car just lost grip and spun out. It was weird. And he spun in the front of the field and took out Combat and someone else, I think. So at this point, I was like, all right, we have a chance to get back into this thing. And here we are for the restart. I kind of laid back a little bit just because I'm pretty sure it's going to be chaotic. So I'm like, if there's a wreck, I'm going to have a little distance to not die horrifically. So we're going to go into turn 1, and everyone still has to make one pit stop because we're like 6 laps short still, so no one can really save it. And coming off turn 2, nothing happening surprisingly at this point. I was like, oh, we're not wrecking horrifically until we go into turn 3. And then there's a lot of checking up, and I'm going to like, it's go time, but Bacon does a good job cutting me off, and here comes the 96 through the middle, 3 wide, and I'm like, oh no. And got Cheffy on my outside, driving in hard. Cobra way up high, struggling, and I get a nice turn cut, run off because Chaffee got really tight off the exit. And we're going to jump a couple laps, and I was able to plus LCS, and now we go into turn 1, and Bacon goes up really high, and I'm able to get a nice run, and then Libert slips up a little bit, so I'm able to try to shove my nose, and Andrew got put in the wall, and now we're 3 wide, now back to 2, entering turn 3. Now I'm in 6, I'm like, man, we're back in, and Libert hits the apron, and he slides up, and now I'm in 4th place. And like in the span of 5 laps, I went from 12th to 4th again. And I'm like, man, I have a chance to win this race. And here we're just gonna try to close in as fast as I can, very aggressively, and we're gonna jump a couple more laps. Mahu was able to get shuffled out somehow, and I got on the inside of Outbreak here, and now I'm like, this is my time. And get a nice run down the back, able to be even with Eddie. And we're going to enter turn 3 here. I get a real nice entry, and I'm able to stick it through the center and get a run on Jonathan here. Not a huge one, but closing really fast. And I'm like, there's no team games anymore, no more riding. I want the lead. So I'm trying to do whatever I can to get to the lead because I want to be in the lead at this point. And Jonathan slips up just a teeny bit, a little tight, and I decided to make my move to the inside. And into turn 3 and 4, I'm able to go for the lead. And on the exit of 4, I am able to get the lead, and then hopefully we can win. But Eddie gets a huge run down the front. And I'm like, I'm not sure what to do. And then I drive it in a little too hard. And Eddie's able to get there. And I try to block it and basically ended up putting myself in the wall. And then I see Andrew here with a nice run. So I'm not going to try to block that either. So I lose like 5 spots off that deal. And we're going to jump a few more laps. At this point, Mahu got the lead. And in my opinion, I kind of knew this race was over because Mahu is so fast. That thing was on rails. Honestly, thought it had like a 5th gear at times because it was so fast. And we still have to make a pit stop, so it's going to be interesting how it turns out. I had my plan already sorted, what I was going to do on the last pit stop, so at this point it was just putting yourself in the position for that final pit stop. And now this pack, I was like, man, if we stay in the line, we can maybe catch them, but I wasn't too optimistic at this point. And we're going to jump to 186, and Andrew says he's pitting, so I'm going to pit too. But I do an oopsie, so I hit the brakes, and then I realize I'm going to speed. So I'm like, I got to abort and miss pit road. I never touch him, but I netcoded him, so he must have spun or sped into the pits. I wasn't really ever clarified. I knew I screwed up, though. And at this point, I'm just like, I felt so bad. And I was able to come in this next time and not speed. And I decided to take no tires, just a little bit of gas, because the tires would have made it, and I don't think 2 tires would have caught no tires because of the laps left. And here we are coming out of the pits. And I knew I lost so much time because of my mistake. And we came out 8th. But some people still haven't pitted, so I was like, maybe we're okay. But turns out not in the best situation. It really cost us the top 5 tonight, and it was really unfortunate because this is not the finish I deserve based on speed, because it was just sloppy stage 3 by me because of my pit road issues. And a couple laps later, Durham pits, and we're actually able to pass him, but Eddie's on 4 tires, and he blows right by me. So no contest there. So in the end, we're still in 8th. And here on the last lap, just need to apologize for Andrew because that was just really dumb of me. But Cobra also pitted, so we gained a spot, so we're in 7th. But Libert's got some tires, and I'm trying to hold him off here, and he full sends into 3 and 4, but it's not able to stick it. But he's getting a run off turn 4, and it's a drag race, but he gets a little loose, and I'm going to be able to bring it home 7th for this race. And honestly, it's pretty disappointing because how we ran most of the race with speed in the top 5. I felt like we should have been like 4th or 5th, but I made dumb mistakes in stage 3 and also ruined Andrew's race, and I feel really bad about it. But I feel pretty good about next week at Atlanta. Always one of my favorite tracks and best tracks. So if you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys in the next one.